Yo, 1 2 1 2, check mic 1 2. Big shout out to the SkankOut crew. Big love to the one like Lady Calla for the last 2. Yeah, happy Saturday. Big shout out, Ben. Yeah, you looked into Cyber. Big shout out to all the SkankOut family.
Light it up.
Yo, big shout Eddie locked in. Big shout Luca. Yeah, once again, big shout out Lady Keller for the last two. Keep it locked for the man like Z stepping up next. Big shout out Ronnie, big shout out Ellie, big shout out Luca. Big shout out the Locked In crew. Yo, big shout man like Cos locked in, big love G.
itchy. My trigger fingers itchy. My trigger fingers itchy. My trigger fingers itchy. Trigger fingers itchy. My trigger fingers Get in the middle, little, we know every little to little,
Yeah, big shout Zed, big shout Cos, big shout Eddie, big shout Luca.
The homie built a snap like
Big shout to SkankOut family. Big shout Tommy locked in. Big love G. Big love my bro. That's my real bro.
the homie built a snap like whoa. Whoa, full of 20 deep, the homie built a snap like whoa. Homie built a snap like whoa. Snap like whoa, snap like whoa, snap like whoa, full of 20 deep, the homie built a snap like whoa.
Yeah, big shout Cos, big shout Neil locked in. Big shout my bro Tommy locked in. Big love G.
Nothing like you. How can you devalue anything that I do? How can you see my truth? I'm nothing like you.
shout, Charlotte.
Damn, I'm looking good.
Big shout for the last 2 hours. Lady Keller, big ups. Keep it locked for the man like Zed. Zed is itching right now to get on those decks. He's been gagging since like 9 o'clock.
Damn, I'm looking good.
Yo, once again, big shout out to Locked In Crew. You listen to Cyber and SkankOut. Big shout Lady K, big shout Ronnie, big shout Neil, big shout Zed, big shout Luca, big shout Eddie, big shout Tom. Big love to the Locked In Crew. Happy Saturday.
Make this one.
thoughts in your mind and calm down. The thoughts in your mind are the lights out. Where you gonna go when the rain's out? Darling, on your own now. Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? Where you gonna go when the rain's out? Darling, on your mind and I lay down. Going on my phone and I calm down. The thoughts in your mind are the lights out. Where you gonna go when the
in the bins, and then your mutilated torsos getting thrown in a trolley. I don't give a fuck if you're grown and you're stocky. Shank, shank, I leave your clothing all soggy. I'll amputate your limbs and then dispose them in the bins, and then your mutilated torsos getting thrown in a trolley.
Knock me out like my name's Rocky. Yeah. Don't be full of shit like a fatty. I'm fully loaded, I'm like a 12-gauge shotty. Bang! Make it insides turn nutty. Bang! Make it insides turn nutty. Arms all bruised up, legs all floppy. I've got a few weapons in my lobby. I've gotta make a confession, it's my hobby. Is this a warning? Hospital warning. You can hear the pain in my voice when I'm recording. Yeah, straight taking off heads when I'm performing. Sound boy, I was dead before morning.
I don't give a fuck if you're grown and you're stocky. Shank, shank, I leave your clothing all soggy. I'll amputate your limbs and then dispose them in the bins, and then your mutilated torso getting thrown in a trolley. Shank, shank, shank,
I'm disgusting and gritty, stone cold, heartless, I never show pity. I don't care if your girlfriend's pretty, I'll still break her in half like a McVitie. Ain't nothing nice in my city. Trying to live a normal life can be tricky. Disrespect me and I'll take out my flicky and shank you in your face just for taking the mickey. Is this a warning? Hospital warning. You can hear the pain in my voice when I'm recording. Yeah, straight taking off heads when I'm performing. Sound boy, I was dead before morning.
I don't give a fuck if you're grown and you're stocky. Shank, shank, I leave your clothing all soggy. I'll amputate your limbs and then dispose them in the bins, and then your mutilated torsos getting thrown in a trolley. I don't give a fuck if you're grown and you're stocky. Shank, shank, I leave your clothing all soggy. I'll amputate your limbs and then dispose them in the bins, and then your mutilated torsos getting thrown in a trolley. I don't give a fuck if you're grown and you're stocky. Shank, shank, I leave your clothing all soggy. I'll amputate your limbs and then dispose them in the bins, and then your mutilated torsos getting thrown in a trolley.
Right down now, I feel like a hippie. Take some acid time to make the place so trippy. I might mistake you for an enemy and shank you in the melody. People keep messing with my energy. I might become an accessory. If people don't stop stressing me, I'm higher now and keep blessing me. What up?
Yeah, big shout out everyone who locked in. Big love to the SkankOut family. Keep it locked for a man like Zed stepping up next. Yeah, once again, big shout out to the locked in crew. You listen to Cyber and SkankOut.
Combination, the feeling. man are shook, no they can't reach us. You man be hating at the back of the bleachers. Rolling with the click, all type of creatures. Me and Ed on the track, bring the heaters. Combination show, know you got the feelings. Feel the bass, walking through your speakers.
Yeah, big shout Lady K, big shout Ronnie, big shout Zed, big shout Tom, Luca, Ellie, big shout the SkankOut crew. Yeah, big shout Cos. Big love, G. Nah, man, that's sparkling water, man. Can't drink vodka like that, bro.
On the planet.
I'm going to change it up for my boy Cos. Once again, big shout out to the Locked In crew. We're coming down to the last 15. Please keep it locked for the man like Zed stepping up next. Once again, big shout out to Lady K for the last 2 hours. Big love to all my Saturday night D&B crew. Sparkling water, cuz.
Fall back.
No drinking on the job, man.
Back. Run the tune. Had a gap, yeah, but they still can't catch me. Status legendary and they know who the best be. Across genre, king of the host. So when I look up in the rev, you don't see no one close. Fall back. Fall back. Fall back. Fall back. Yeah. Fall back. You stand up.
From cyberspace to outer space, the number of UFO sightings in Canada is soaring tenfold over the past 25 years. The majority of those flying objects eventually get identified, but a few are never explained.
Big shout, Man Like Z.
Some skywalkers wondering if...
Right, keep it low. We got 10 to go. Man Like Z stepping up next. Big shout, cuz. Sparkling vodka. Yes, my G, that sounds quite good, you know.
You shall not
Right, down to the last day. Big shout out to the Locked In crew. Big love to the SkankOut family as always. Have a blessed weekend. We've got a few more to go, but keep it locked for the Man Like Z stepping up.
Big.
Yeah, big up Cos, big up Ronnie, big love. Probably the last one.
Second money tower, summer walk up, big.
Right, last quick one. Big love to the locked in crew. Big love to my SkankOut family. Big shout Cos, Ronnie, Lady K, big shout Zed, big shout Ben, big shout all the locked in crew. Big love.
So fucking loud. What the fuck is going on?
Well, this one's a bit dirty, isn't it? Right, quick roll call. Big shout Lady K, big shout Cos, big shout Ronnie, big shout Zed, big shout my SkankOut family, big shout Eddie, big shout Luca, big shout my bro Tom for locking them. Big love, big shout Neil.
There were so many people. So much.
Big shout Josh, big shout Harry.
And it was so
Once again, big love to all my locked in crew. You've been listening to Cyber on SkankOut. Keep it locked for the man like Zed stepping up. Gonna be dropping 2 hard hours coming up next. Once again, big love.
And you know, I love it.